What's up, Wild? I'm Josh. If you guys haven't met me before, I'm you guys' team captain. I know some of us haven't done grid before, or maybe it's been a while. I mean, I know at least for myself, I haven't done grid since a grid event since December, so it has been a little bit here. That was the All-Star match. I just wanted to kind of go over some basics, the way you guys can understand how a match is run and things like that, because it is a lot of transitions that we've been talking about here. It is a lot of processing and stuff. It is reps that things happen. It's not like a CrossFit event where you just like you and a partner and one barbell and you go. This is going to be like multiple different movements. You got to know who's on the floor, who's off the floor, who can move when, where to stand, such on and so forth like that, okay? Basics. Here is basically our grid, right? It's broken up into 4 quadrants where you got quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Basically, you start all the way down here in the start line. Wherever you're at, you essentially work your way down the floor, okay? You can finish by finishing out quadrant 4, and then you may cross the finish line to get everybody to stop your time, right? The time stops when the last person crosses the line. So let's go to something that we're going to start every match with, which is called partner forward typically. Sometimes they will change them, but partner forward will be a guy and a girl pair will work their way down the floor. Let's just want to take one of last year's races just to make it easy. It is a 8-6-4-2. So what you're going to do in quadrant number 1 is that a guy is going to go in and do 8 reps of something. He's going to step off. The girl's going to do 8 reps of something. She's going to step off. He will go in and also do 8 reps of another movement. Come off. She will do 8 reps of another movement. And then you may progress down the floor, and then both people will do 6-6, 6-6. Usually at that point, the weights will go up heavier. It becomes a little bit more challenging, so you typically have a change. So both people will run off the floor. Tag partners come up. They will then do two movements, 4 reps, come off 4 reps, and then somebody else will do 4 and 4, and then 2, 2, 2, 2, until they stop and finish their time, okay? So last year we had one that was a double dumbbell overhead squats and burpee box jump overs, okay? Weights don't matter, neither does the height of the box. So essentially what happened is that we had 2 athletes standing here. The guy went in, and did his 8 reps. He can only do his 8 reps when the girl is standing in this box right here, this first one, okay? I am going to color it in just to make it easy to see, okay? So she will stand in there while he does his 8 reps. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to draw backwards here. But while he does his 8 reps, as soon as his 8th rep is done, she steps in front of him. He will step back behind into this box to signify that he is finished. And then when he crosses this line, she may pick up and then proceed to do her 8 reps of the double dumbbell overhead squats. Okay? When she finishes her 8 reps of her double dumbbell overhead squats, again, passes his back behind. He comes in front. He does his 8 burpee box jump overs. Boom, off. He steps across this line here. Weights in this box where he can then progress down the floor while she does her 8 burpee box jump overs. While she's doing that, he can progress back into this square, letting everybody know that he is ready for his rep of 6, okay, where he then does 6 double dumbbell overhead squats, 6 burpee box jump overs, such on and so forth, right? When she finishes her 6 burpee box jump overs, they both will be in this square and proceed to run all the way down the floor here, where the second set of partners are standing there to come in. They will then run down the floor from here and will proceed with their sets of 4. Okay, guy will hop in. They will go first. 4 double dumbbell overhead squats, 4 burpee box jump overs. And while the girl does their 4 double dumbbell overhead squats, hop off. Guy does 4 burpee box jump overs, hop off. Girl comes on, 4 burpee box jump overs. Proceed that way until the girl will finish her set of 2 burpee box jump overs. When she is on the floor working here, the guy will be standing in this last box, okay? It is key that he has to be in this box. He cannot be standing across this finish line. If anybody is standing on that finish line, even if there's multiple people on the floor, those reps do not count. You have to be in the grid, or essentially field of play, for the reps to count. So standing in this box, she will do her 2 reps. As soon as that second rep is done, they both will step across the finish line here, stop their time. Okay, that will be the partner forward one. Most of the races work the exact same way. There might be some where, like in the triad, 3 guys will be working together or 3 ladies will be working together all at one time. Maybe down here, all of them doing deadlifts or kettlebell swings or you name it, burpee box, jump overs. Doesn't matter what it is, right? They're doing their 3 movements here. A different style race, which usually the second one, is mirror. Okay, I'm going to use this one just to make it easier here to start. Forgive me, I have a front-facing camera, so it's backwards, but you guys get the gist, right? Mirror. What there will be is that there will be a barbell sitting right here. Depending on the movement, let's say it's front squats to make it easy, okay? This is the weights. Girls will be on this side. Guys will be on this side. Okay? When they do this, they will face each other. So basically be looking eye to eye when you're doing your front squats. Say they both have 10 reps to do. They will be doing 10 reps. As soon as, let's say the girls get done faster, they do 10 reps, the guys are still on 9. They can stand up and get ready. What happens is that 2 girls, the 3 that are on the floor, will grab onto the barbell. Okay? They will grab on the barbell, so all 3 of you will be holding the bar, standing in quadrant number 1. Okay? You cannot cross this line until both sides are done with their 10 reps. Once you're both done with 10, you will then proceed down the floor in this direction. Okay? There will be a rotation that we will use, and we will explain that when we have PVC pipes and barbells and things like that to really make sure that it is a flawless transition down the floor to make it as fast as possible, okay? The 3 of you, or 3 of us, whoever might be doing it there, is going to work their way down the floor this way. Let's say you were athlete number 1, you started, you did your 10 overhead squats. You will typically transition to the back of the barbell. As you walk down the floor, all 3 of you are still, or 2 of you will be holding it. The person in the back will rotate to the front, grab their barbell, then proceed to do their 10 reps, okay? We will continue this way with the guys and girls all the way down the floor, all right? Move in this direction. So yes, there will be essentially 4 sets of 10. They can be broken up if need be, but basically we need somebody that can do 10 unbroken reps of whatever weight that might be, okay? It might be 10 front squats at 255. It might be 10 hang power clean and jerk at 185, okay, for guys. Ladies' weight would be like 155 and then 125 for the hang clean and jerks, okay, respectively. Work your way down the floor. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot let the barbell touch the ground. If for whatever reason the barbell touches the floor, you miss a rep or somebody didn't grab the barbell right, you all, both sides, all 6 of you have to set the barbells down, run all the way back to the start line together, then bow back down the floor, pick up the barbell, and then start off where you left off. Okay, that is a total waste of time in a race that takes about 1 minute and 15 seconds. Okay, do not drop the bar. Okay, once we get done with all 40 reps, remember, all 6 of you must be in quadrant 4, not the finish line, so that it counts as reps. Once everybody is done, let's say the girls again finish a little bit faster than the guys. She is holding the barbell at the top position on her 10th rep, while the guy is finishing the last couple reps. Finish his last front squat. Once both people are at 10 reps, both teams, then you can drop the barbells. All 6 of you will advance across the finish line. Last person stopping the clock will be the finisher, right? So that is typically how all of those will work. Being the partner forward, like I said, might be more than 1 or 2 people on the floor. Might be 3, like the triad. The same style like it worked with these with the partner, or the mirror, I'm sorry, is that 5 of you or 3 of us might be on the floor doing 10 deadlifts. I finish my 10 deadlifts. Let's see, whoever else finishes their 10 deadlifts and somebody else finishes. Once the 3rd guy finishes their 10 deadlift, all 3 of us will cross the line, stop the clock for something like a triad or echo or whatever it might be at that point in time, okay? Another one that is slightly different will be Jack and Jill. Okay, that one is a little bit more confusing. I'm going to go back to this one. Let's say the rig is going to be over here on this side. Just to make life easy for us, okay? Pull-ups, let's say typically a Jack and Jill is a gymnastics heavy move, or gymnastics heavy workout. One that we had last year was 60 chest to bar pull-ups, 30 double touches, 15 triple touches. Okay, so let's say that means that the double touch or the chest to bar, which is the first one, the 60 chest to bar pull-ups, must be done in the first quadrant pull-up bar. Okay, and the pull-up bar might be a little bit farther down the floor. Just depends on how the region, the area is set up. Okay, so we will all do the 60 chest to bar. There's something called waterfall, and if nobody's seen grid, the waterfall pull-up. Or a butterfly pull-up, right? We all have seen butterfly pull-ups, I imagine. As you're cycling through, you will see that two athletes will be on a pull-up bar, okay? What happens to be is that as I'm cycling through, say I hit my chest, when I am at full extension at the bottom of my pull-up bar, the person opposite me on Jack and Jill will be a girl. She can be hitting her chest on the pull-up bar too, okay? We'll essentially cycle in a rhythmic pattern opposite of each other. So you can't be in sync. If you're in sync, they're only counting one person. But if you alternate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then that will count as a waterfall, okay? Typically it depends on the movements, what they do, if they allow a waterfall or not, and we will know that before the race starts. Such on and so forth, kind of like chest to bar pull-ups, double, triple touches are typically okay. Toes to bar and things like that, we can use your waterfall. So that's something we will practice alternating back and forth, okay? So once we're done with our 60 chest, or let me go back a little bit. When we're going through our 60 chest bar pull-ups, most of us probably can't, and it would be not wise, especially 4 or 5 races in, to go in and try and do 30 chest to bar pull-ups back and forth during our workout, right? The whole point of that is to save ourselves later in the match, because most of us that are going to be able to do those 30 chest to bar pull-ups unbroken are going to be the higher level gymnastics athletes, okay? So the whole point is to save each other, right? So let's say I go in, I start, I'm going to do 10 to 15 chest to bar pull-ups. The girl next to me is also going to do another 10 to 15, okay? As soon as I hit my 10 to 15th rep, I'm hitting the floor, and I'm going to run back off, and I'm going to tag a waiting guy, okay, because it only can be a man and a woman on the floor, okay? So somebody in a Jack and Jill will always be waiting right here, waiting to be tagged in and tagged off so that we do this, okay? Most of these switches will happen earlier on in the race. Reason for that is, like I said before, it will be a save for the later on movements, because like a triple touch, or let's say we even have to do back up rises or back roll to support on rings or free handstand push-ups or whatever it might be, are going to be a little bit more of an advanced taxing movement. So trying to save each other later on, okay? So doing so, we have this. I go in, I do my 10 to 15 reps. Girl is also waterfalling with me 10 to 15. So once we both hit our 10 to 15 reps and we start to maybe fail or fatigue, come off, tag our partners, they come on. Hopefully they clean up the chest to bar pull-ups, okay? This is closer, this side. That's why we're doing the chest to bar to save each other. It is also a faster transition because it is a shorter run, okay? If I'm sitting here down here and I'm doing triple touches in quadrant 3, and I have to run not 20 feet, but 60 feet back, and then somebody else is running 60 feet back this way, it just takes more time. Okay, so the whole goal is when we get into the quadrant 3 movements is that you're doing them unbroken. You are the one coming in, you are the finisher, you're going to close it out, and then you're going to bring it home across the finish line, okay? So once you get done and say this, in this scenario, we did our 60 chest to bar pull-ups, came in, we flipped around, we did our 30 double touches in pull-up quadrant number 2. They came off, they tagged on. We have our 2 closing gymnastics, 1 guy, 1 girl. Come on, boom, boom, boom. We do our 15 triple touches, waterfall style. So maybe I do 8, she does 7, vice versa. And then we both come off, cross this finish line for our time in Jack and Jill, okay? It is a fast-moving thing. So those of you that are sitting on backup, down here, we will have essentially a roster, or essentially built something out so we know who is on deck waiting to clean up, okay? Depends on where you're at in the movement. Sometimes people have to come in and finish up something that that they weren't able to do that day. Maybe you have a PR of 50 chest to bar pull-ups unbroken, and we went in knowing that you should be able to do at least 30 no matter what, no big deal, and you come off at 25 because your hand rips, and what the hell happens with the other 5 reps? Well, you get your ass off the floor, somebody else comes in, picks up the pace, does their 5, picks up 5, okay? That's why we're a team. We're going to pick up for each other doing certain things like that, okay? It works the same with barbell movements, such on and so forth, okay? One last thing, work with a grid. The last one is usually called the sprint relay, the finisher. What will happen? This one gets a little confusing, okay? Let's just say is that there's usually there's 1, 2, 3. I have 8 movements here, okay? And I can show you guys, but again, it is going to be written backwards. I'm going to show you real quick. Probably can't even read it though, but it's sitting right in here, okay? What it says is that's the quadrant 1. Down here, we're going to go off and do 25 thrusters. Okay, when you do a sprint relay, and I believe it has to be at minimum 3, if not 4 ladies have to finish the movements. What I mean by that, 25 thrusters. Maybe we have a girl that's super fast at cycling thrusters. Awesome. Maybe she's going to go and do all 25. Maybe not. Okay, maybe we don't have that person. But we have a guy that has just smoked some thrusters. No big deal. He's going to go on, do 24 of the 25 reps. On the 24th rep, drop the bar. He will step back across the finish line here, where the awaiting girl will go in, do her 1 rep, finish the movement, come back, have to tag with a 4-point contact. So both hands, both feet have to hit on the start line side before the first quadrant, run all the way down, and when she crosses the finish line over here, that's when the next movement can go through, okay? So that means that we have to have 4 girls finish the movements, okay? So if it is a finisher of a 275-pound clean and jerk, that's going to be a guy finisher, okay? So we can't be thinking about a girl finishing with 275-pound clean and jerks. It's just not feasible, right? I mean, there might be a couple girls out there that can do it. Not smart, right? Okay, so that being said, we will have a game plan so that you guys know what order to go in. My first one might be 25 thrusters. Second one might be 25 pull-ups, maybe 20 weighted pistols. What will happen is that the thrusters will happen somewhere in here. We will come over, they will tag off. Pull-ups will happen over here on the rig side. We have to run all the way back, finish it, and then we'll move progressively, work our way down the floor. The weighted pistols might happen somewhere down here. And the next one might be a weighted farmer's carry. Well, that will end up being all the way on this side, super heavy. They will, on some of these movements, will essentially just work their way all the way down unbroken. They will not have to run back. Something like a unbroken handstand walk for 80 feet that they just run down, or maybe it's with a med ball. That will be one of those things where all they have to do is cross the finish line and that next person will go. We will know what those are in the coach's briefing. And by we, I mean Adam, right? Adam will be the one that will be running everything here. He will have an idea of the game plan going forth, and he will let us know in those situations, right? After the farmer's carry, might be something down here. 15 burpee box jumpers at 30 inches. At this point in time, we probably had 2 girls finish. Let's say one finished the thrusters, one did all the pull-ups. So now we need someone to make sure that they can finish either burpee box jump overs. 15 for anybody is probably going to be a point in time where you start to slow down. So we will probably break this one up. Guy might go in and do 12, right? So let's say Sam goes in, he does 12 burpee box jump overs at 30 inches. He runs off. We have a girl go on. She does her 3, runs back off the floor, finishes it, right? Next one after that is 5 rope climbs. Okay, so at this point, Sam is probably pretty tired, right? So he just did 12 burpee box jump overs. This is the last match of the day. So he's going to run in. What will happen is that we probably will have somebody else finish. Let's say I go in. I do 3 or 4 of the rope climbs. And then I run off. Sam does his 1. He finishes, so I'm a little more fresh. I will go in, do 7 deficit handstand push-ups. I will do my 7, run back, tag the start line down here, run all the way off, finish that one, right? And then the last one is going to be the finishing quadrant. It might be another 25 thrusters, 275-pound ground to overhead, whatever it might be. That's going to be the finisher, okay? That should be case in point all of our matches. If it's a ladder, it's just going to be essentially, we've all seen those speed ladders set up like the CrossFit games and stuff like that. You're going to have your little grid here, blah, blah, blah. What there's going to be is probably 5 barbells evenly spaced all the way down the floor. Men's weight, women's weight. Let's say guys will be on this side over here. Ladies will be on the other side, okay? Essentially, the weights will go progressively heavier all the way down. You're only going to have 5 people do this, okay? So there will be one girl or a line of girls and guys in a single file line all the way down, 5 on each end. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, athlete 1, say the guy starts first, boom, 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 hits the first bar, smokes it all the way down, finishes. Okay, once they cross this finish line down here, first girl can go, so you will alternate sides all the way down. Let's say one of the guys, guy number 2, comes in, hits the first barbell, hits the second, can't hit the third. What he's going to do is run over top of all 3 barbells, get out of the way so that they allow a bunch of time for the next athletes to finish up. Okay, so that's going to be the ladder. Going back to the 5 athletes thing. Not trying to get super into it, super specific, but essentially we can only have 5 active players on any race, okay, or really during the match. So at the beginning of the match, there will be 5 active guys, 5 active girls. Now, we have more than 10 people on the team. How this works is that eventually the 5 athletes, say you're coming, you know that you're a gymnastics, a bodyweight specialist like myself, right? First couple workout races essentially are going to be a little more weight oriented typically. So maybe I won't even be one of the active 5. Okay, so I'm our backup guy number 6 over here. I'm the first alternate. There'll be 5 active guys. And we have someone that's just really, really good at moving a barbell. Let's say they come in, they do their first 2 or 3 first 2 or 3 races. As soon as they become an inactive player, I will come in and take their spot. They are then at that point typically done for the rest of the match. Okay, so this is where strategy comes into play. You can't just bump people in and out the entire time. Okay, this is not like, this is where it becomes a little different. This is not like football or soccer where you can just take one play off or one race off and you come off and on, okay? So coming into something like a triad or an echo. If there's a triad, 3 people will be working on the floor at all times, okay? There'll be 3 guys or 3 girls. That means you have 2 people waiting. So that means, let's say if we go and do 15 clean and jerks at 135, 2 guys come off the floor, 1 guy is left, 2 guys come back on the floor. So now you're back to 3, right? The 2 guys that finished the 2 clean jerks that came off the floor are still active. So that's where you need to be ready when one of these 2 comes back in, that somebody else comes back into the race. So then you switch, boom, 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 back to 3 again. Okay, so when you have 2 people, that's where it becomes more of a fitness style CrossFit thing. So you still have to have that CrossFit background, a little bit of endurance that really, really helps so that you are able to recover and come back into the matches such as the triads. Something like the echo, it'll be the same style, might be 2 or 3 people working away all the way down the floor, depending on the movements, or 1 person maybe, it maybe just be like 30 clusters at 115, let's just say. Somebody goes in, smokes 20 of them, the other guy will go and stand on the other side of the barbell, finishes the 10 as they tag off. Those 5 guys that are working, or girls, will be working their way down the floor until they finish. As soon as both teams, let's say the Wild and the South Palm Beach team that we're going to be playing, finishes their side, you then have typically 60 seconds, and then we'll repeat the echo. Okay, so that means this is a completely different race. So the same 5 people that did Echo 1 may not be the same 5 people that did Echo 2. Okay, so it's a separate race. But if you do so, when you exchange players, it might be that they're taking them out for the match. Okay. That being said, we do have some wild cards that can come in for 1 or 2 matches that just might sub in essentially and not officially take a player out of the match. But I just want you guys to know that's kind of how the grid, how the grid layout works. And then there's typically 12 races. Last year, and they can switch these things, it will start with a partner forward, which is usually that shorter one, followed by mirror, female echo 1, female echo 2, and then the guys will come back in. They will do echo. So now we're at this point. We did partner forward. We did the mirror, female echo 1 and 2. Now we will go do male echo 1, male echo 2. So now we're at 6 races. Then there'll be a ladder. So that's 7. Then there will be a Jack and Jill, female triad, male triad. And then typically there might be another one built in, or the sprint relay at the end, which is the long one. Okay, so roughly 11 to 12 races or events. That will take place with no more than 5 minutes break in between each one. Okay, so they'll be working your way all the way down. The volume is not necessarily crazy high for typical CrossFit style if you do it 5 or 6 days a week. But those of you that are just more of a weightlifter style or gymnastics, you may have to do multiple movements, right? What I would urge everybody to do is to try out the movements that are in that spreadsheet. Now, if there are different movements that you might have heard of, such as the weighted pistols, the double dumbbell overhead squats, a double touch, triple touch. Some people probably have seen the butterfly ring muscle ups at this point in time because they kind of went viral the last couple years. Try those out. Free handstand push-ups, triple unders, deficit handstand push-ups, even free deficit handstand push-ups, double kettlebell front squats, double kettlebell overhead squats, double kettlebell snatches, squat snatches, single arm squat snatches, such on and so forth like that. Some different movements that you may not see all the time in CrossFit, or that there might be different elements. Like, let's say that like in CrossFit, you can't use a gymnastics kip. Thus, your feet cannot go over your hands in a muscle up variety, whether it's on the rings or bar. That is allowed. You can use a gymnastics kip in grid. As far as everything has been concerned with, we have been able to do that so far. So there are different things. It is all about speed. Okay, so as long as you can get all the way to the top, lock out your movement, show full range of motion, they'll count it all the time. There are some more, like I said, some more different movements. We have some months before the season start. Our first match doesn't begin until towards the end of May. I believe May 23rd or 24th when we're in Orlando. So you have some time to practice those things. If you are a strength athlete, practice those movements. Practice those double kettlebell front squats. Practice those double dumbbell overhead squats. If you need to know standards or weights or whatever else, that's what our chat is for. Okay, I want you to make sure you guys use it. Ask us questions. If you are a gymnastics athlete and if you do not have butterfly chest to bar pull-ups, well, let's talk. Let's figure those things out, okay? If you haven't tried a double touch, videotape yourself, put me in it so we can figure out how to figure those things out. We do need a couple people that make sure they can do those like plate walkovers, weighted handstand walks with like the med ball or even with the sled. Make sure that you're kicking up with the ball. You can't just kick up and have someone hand it to you. Even weighted muscle ups with a medicine ball, put it in between your legs, make sure you can hang on to it. Practice all those things. Practice all the variety. If you need to know a list of the movements, I will give you a comprehensive list of movements that have ever been done in grid so that we can go over it. Okay. That way everybody can practice everything that they need. I know this video is getting pretty long here, so I want to cut it off pretty soon. But that's basically what it's going to be like with the grid this year with the Wild. I'm really excited about what we can do compared to the last couple years. Getting a new identity, moving from Jacksonville over to Gainesville, Florida, based out of with Austin and Adam and Dez. I'm sorry, Adam. Out of CrossFit 352. And all the people that are traveling. Just make sure that we have a idea of that traveling list is, and everybody trying to make all the matches here so that we do have the possibility to have people sub each other out and rest, right? That is a big thing. When we are down to 8 or 9 people in a grid match, we need to go out and find random people that are in the area that can work out with us, because with the speed and intensity that it's going to be at, it's very difficult to keep that up over 11 races. Okay. Speaking of most of us towards the last couple matches, races last year in matches, I think a lot of us did all 5. Or all 5 of us were doing all the races towards the end. You know, even Adam hopped in and did at least one match with us. It's like I say, everybody show up and work hard. You got time to prepare for these things and learn them. If you don't have backup rides on range and you're a gymnastics specialist, learn it. Figure it out, okay? I know last year there was a lot of times, even during the All-Star match, I learned how to do back roll to supports an hour before the thing starts, okay? Let's not have that happen anymore. I want everybody to be proficient at their element and know 100% that they got what we asked for them when they step on the floor. That way nobody has to pick up where they left off. Now things happen, but the whole point is to have a game plan so we can have these transitions as quick as possible. When you can anticipate things happening, then we can make sure that we're ready to pick up those things and make those transitions fast. We'll go over the specifics and stuff like that when we're there. Not a big deal. Stuff like make sure you're close to the line. Don't step over this one. But I think a lot of us do have the experience. But like I said, if you have any questions, please use the chat. A lot of us, our veterans, have been done. A lot of us sounds like did the NPGL. I've done multiple other Florida Grid League things or even different Grid 6s, CrossFit events. Talk to us. We got the knowledge. Use us, those that haven't done it. If you have not been ever part of a grid match, watch that YouTube video I posted earlier today, or find yourself a grid match around, or a Grid 6. They're starting to go all over the place now. I think there's not that many that are off the coast necessarily, but I know that it's starting to picking up Grid 6s here in Texas because we've been starting to get in the league and stuff like that. But get yourself into the world and start surrounding yourself with it so you have an idea how fast it is, how it's expected. CrossFit's 1 speed, and we all thought that was fast. Grid speed's twice as fast. Okay, move. If you're standing around looking at something, you're doing something wrong. Okay, so you got to make sure you know where the races are and what's coming up. All right, go out and train, guys. Like I said, if you have any questions, please use the chat.